like it's really so nice to see a country where people follow rules and regulation without being compelled.
Okay.
For example, today I missed my bus because I was looking at my bus right over, like right in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
but the light has not given me green to cross, and
Oh,
I missed my bus just because, just for me to cross. It doesn't cost anything to just cross, but I just have to because it's something that I've begun to absorb and learned. It's had
okay.
an impact on me already.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in Nigeria, we cross. No, I won't care. But here, I have been, you know, I've been indoctrinated, or I'm acclimatizing
That's right.
into a sane, behaving like a sane person. It's not like I
Mm.
was not sane in Nigeria, but you can easily violate rules and regulations.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today on this episode, we are privileged to have here with us a prominent daughter from the land of Nigeria who is currently based in Finland, or who is currently studying in Finland. She's a content creator, a storyteller, and author of 3 books. Olawande is currently studying for her master's in social exclusion at Obo Academy in Finland. She is known for her passion in helping singles make the right marital decisions and maximize their singleness. On TikTok, she shares her steady experience as a Nigerian international living in Finland. Olawande is married to Samuel Edwin, and we are glad to have you here on Convos from Abroad. Akwaba,
Thank you.
Ola.
Menase.
An inspiring profile, I should say.
Thank you.
A lot of I know we are all young, but there are levels in our youngness. Had the privilege to be married. You've written some books that inspire other young people who are looking up to you and all that. For those of us who don't know you, who are hearing your name for the first time on this show, I would like you to give us a context of who you are as a person and how life was like for you in Nigeria before you traveled to Finland.
Okay, so once again, my name is Olawande. I like my name a lot too. I always like to start with my name. My name is Olawande, and I am a Nigerian living in Finland for now. And when I was in Nigeria, or let me start far back as okay. After I graduated from the university, that was about 7 years ago. Maybe 8. I don't want to start counting now. So I've always wanted to further my academics.
Okay.
And it's not a small thing to want to further your academics abroad.
Yeah,
so you need money.
Yes.
So in order to be able to get the money, I decided let me start working. So all the while I was working, it wasn't because I wanted to build any career in Nigeria.
Okay.
It was just because I needed funds to pursue my dream, which is to further my academics abroad.
Okay.
So this is not to say that I didn't put my efforts into it, because I believe that no knowledge is lost.
Yes.
So along the line, at least I got the experience, I got the skills, I got a lot of transferable skills that are useful today. I ensure that I wasn't just there for the money alone. I put in my effort to ensure that I also had, I got relevant knowledge, experience during this period. And then, so that was what I was doing until 2023 November. I just knew that it was time to just let Nigerian 9 to 5 go, because prior to that time, a few months before that time, I started content creation full time. I started content creation far back as during COVID-19, during that long holiday. I think a lot of us actually started content creation at that time, but I was just here and there, not really sure what I wanted to do. But 2023, I was really sure of what I wanted to do. I think it was immediately I got married, and I got the leading of God to directly go into helping single people manage their waiting period. And that's because of the experience I had while I was trusting God for my husband as well. So I started using my Instagram majorly to do that, to encourage them, post content that would uplift them and help them to make right marital decisions. And while I was doing it, I was also going to work, and I just knew, for reasons I really can't say, that I've had enough of 9 to 5. So I resigned from my job, and I one of the reasons why I resigned was also because I wanted to apply to Finland. And I knew that I was going to write IELTS. I just somehow felt like I wanted to put all my best into it. So I wanted to take away every form of distraction. So the job was one of the reasons. Let me just be done with this work once and for all. Focus on my content creation, and at the same time, I would be able to put my best in this application because I didn't intend to use an agent. I wanted to do it myself. So I resigned from my job. That was 2023 November, and December was when the application. No, it didn't open. The application opened January, exactly this period, 2024. So I used December to prepare for schools I was going to apply to in Finland, and I was still posting on Instagram, of course. So I used December to look for schools, because you are allowed to apply as for 6 schools, to 6 schools rather. So you can apply as much as up to 6 schools in one application. So I used the whole of December to search for schools that I had courses that I qualified for, and I had aligned with my career goals and objectives. I used December to also register for IELTS. I used December to also study IELTS. I put every single thing in check in December because I knew application was going to open by January. So when I was only just waiting for the application to open. So when it opened, I wrote my IELTS around this time in January last year. I wrote it, and the rest they say is history.
Wow, amazing story. What was your role? Which company were you at with your 9 to 5 in Nigeria, and what role did you play over there?
Okay, I worked in about 4 companies.
In 6 years?
Yes. All through my working experience, I had 6 years working experience in Nigeria. And it was all customer service.
I see.
Yes.
I see, customer service. And what influenced your decision to choose Finland as a country to further your education?
Well, it's a long story actually. My first choice has always been, like I said earlier, that immediately I graduated from school and went for my NYC. I'm sure you know about NYC in Nigeria. I'd wanted to pursue my, go further my academics, and US has always been my first choice. So all the while I was working, I've been applying. So this wasn't the first time before this Finland came. So I've always been getting admission, but this is like a story for another day. I wouldn't want to say it here because I'm still planning to create a content around this. And it wasn't working, and I somehow just lost hope, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for it again because I was already tired. You can get discouraged if you are getting no repeatedly. So I was confused because it was only US I was familiar with. I was really very good with US applications and all of that. I didn't know anything about Europe. I wasn't really cool with UK. So it was just a lot of confusion. And then God just used my husband. He just told me that there are lots of countries that are good, that if only I can see the good in them. He told me, I didn't really take it seriously. I'm like, first of all, I'm already tired of applying to schools because I've applied to a lot of schools in America. Then a friend of mine who happened to be a neighbor of my parents back in Nigeria, he posted a picture or a video on Instagram one day around 2020, early 2024, I think, or 2023. So the background it doesn't look kind of like UK.
Okay.
So I was like, this country is actually very beautiful. Where can this be? So I sent her a DM asking, where are you? And then she said Finland. And it sounded very, not common. I think that's the right word. I can Finland, like Finland. Where is Finland? Who talks about? I've never really thought about this country. I don't know anything about. And she was like, oh, that's where she is. And then she usually posts, very, nice, insightful, educative talks, post about our school, our faculty, and everything looks really very nice and something that it looks. I'm not there. I mean, I wasn't there at that time. I don't know what's going on in the school, but based on the videos she posts, it looks as like they have a very good educational system. Okay. So I just told myself, okay, why don't you just see for yourself? And then I started doing my research, and that was how I came about Finland.
Wow. And then pretty much I believe the process compared to the US is much more easier regarding Finland, I guess. How difficult or easy was it for you in applying for Finland?
Okay, you know that when you are used to something, when you leave that, so to say, comfort zone, you find it's a little bit. So now I can say that it's almost the same. But at that time, when I got introduced to, searching for schools in Finland, it was not cool at all.
Wow.
Because the websites where you have to search for schools, some of the informations there are written in Finnish, while some of the courses written in Finnish, and then you don't even understand what you're looking at. So it looked very difficult. I remember a time I tried approaching a website once, and I was very angry. I told my husband, I said, why is everything so hard like this? If you check America, very straightforward. You will see the name of the school, you see the requirements, everything is straightforward. This one's their own is just this thing. You have to be looking for he just told me that. My husband now told me that it wasn't one day that you also figured out how US websites and the whole application works. Mm-hmm. So if you take your time, you also be able to get it. So, and I just took that. I'm the kind of person that whatever I want to go for, I put in my best. I ensure that I go for it. So I was really intentional about, let me say, leaving Nigeria. So whenever I get to work, that's before I resign from the job. Before work starts, I'll start struggling with the websites, doing research, at least with the knowledge I have from America's application websites. Yeah. I used it to be able to navigate. Sometimes it was tough. Before I could get 5 schools, it was tough. But I ensured that I continued. There's something I also usually say. If any information that is written in English, I should be able to navigate it.
Okay.
So I just kept telling myself that no, it cannot be this hard. I think I just have a thing for research. I love research.
Okay.
So I tried to push myself that you can find it. You can find it. So every day I kept on, and then it became easy at some point.
Okay, I see. And then I know in Ghana, with some countries, you don't have to even stress yourself with regarding the visa office giving you, like maybe interviewing you for quite some time to determine whether or not you fit for the travel. Was Finland, were you interviewed for Finland, or you just had to meet the requirement in terms of documentation and whether or not you'll be able to survive over there, or were you interviewed for your process over there?
Okay, you're asking if there's usually an interview at the embassy?
Yes, embassy. Were you interviewed?
I was interviewed, but it wasn't a serious interview.
Okay.
Or I don't know if
Conference
serious is the right word to use. It was just a chit chat.
Okay.
Asking about information about the program you are going for,
Okay.
which everyone who actually did the application themselves should be able to answer. It's
Okay.
nothing out of place.
Okay. Okay. All right. So currently, which city do you reside in Finland?
Turku.
Okay, Turku. And I believe before arriving there, you had all sort of perceptions about Finland as a country. Prior to arriving there, or after you arrived there in Finland, how was these expectations met with the relatives on ground over there?
Well, I wouldn't say that expectations were met or not met. I think I would just say that it was completely something different, and that's shocks, culture shocks.
Okay.
For example, the only expectation I think an average African should have is that, okay, I'm going to get a job and I'm going to be very rich. I'll start making money. And for me, I think it was one of the expectations I had was just, it's a beautiful country.
Okay.
And my expectations were actually met.
Okay.
It's actually a beautiful country. Another expectation I had was the quality of education. And honestly, my expectations were, I got beyond my expectation. It exceeded my expectations.
Okay.
Yes, based on where I'm coming from, the expectations I had.
What would you say are
surpassed
the differences in terms of education system with Nigeria and then Finland?
Structure and facilities. And I think those were the major ones I had. Every other thing were just no expectations, but I got a lot of shocks as an African. Shocks about the Finnish people, the way they relate with you. They are very private people. Another shock I got is Finland is extremely very quiet. I mean, very, very quiet. I can count. I think I've just heard on 3 times or 2 times. Ever since I got here for the past 4 months.
A car horn?
Oh. Yes, car horn.
Oh. Is it that people don't drive or what? They don't like pressing
unless it's an extreme situation, you are not supposed to on.
Really?
Yes. So I've heard on twice from 2 cars, a bus and a car, 2 times in 4 months. No on at all. So even as I'm in my room like this, I can only hear my voice. There's no noise on the road, no on, no nothing. So it's extremely very, very quiet. It's road, what they call the traffic control for those walking and those driving. So everybody knows when it's their turn. So there's no point to on.
Wow.
There's no point to on. People walking with their foot, they have lights controlling when they will cross. There's really no need to horn. So there are a lot of shocks. A lot of shocks. Finns would prefer to be quiet for 1 year than have you talk to them. They don't like to talk at all. Just shocks.
Have you made a friend over there? How do you call these people? Have you made a Finnish friend over there?
Well, I wouldn't say friend. I think I would just say acquaintance.
Okay.
Because, in class one classmates.
Okay.
And then I used to live with a Finn next door.
Okay.
But she has moved out. So she's a neighbor. So that's friendship. I think it's going to be very hard before a Finn would open up to you and you get to a point where you become friends. That's a sport.
My follow-up question was, so have you tried asking anyone why things are like that over there in Finn?
Yeah, they said it's just their culture that they love to keep to their space. It's just like saying, why do Nigerians, I don't know, shout? We shout. we just shout. Or
You
why
just
do
do
why
you
do
are.
Lagosians like party? We like party. There's no explanation to it. Do you
Okay,
get?
I
There's
get.
no explanation to it. We just what we grew up knowing that our parents like to party. We also like to party, not because we have the money. Because even people that are broke, they will still party. So there's no explanation to it. It's just the culture that they are very private people. They love their space or their spaces.
Okay. Okay. So starting life over there. But did you have any problem with immigration when you first arrived at the airport? Though?
No, I didn't have any issue with immigration. In fact, I'd even crossed immigration before I knew that I'd just passed immigration. I thought it was just normal checks.
Wow.
You know, I've been having checks from the airport in Nigeria, so I just thought it was just one of those airport checks.
Okay.
And when I sat down, I started sending messages, and people were asking me, "Have you passed immigration?" And I'm like, "I have not passed immigration." They're like, "So how did you get to Sweden airport?" I said, "I am in Sweden airport. I don't know. Maybe they did not come today." And someone was like, I said, the only thing was that there was a place they asked me for my resident permit card. And they said, "That's immigration." I said, "Oh, really?" I didn't know.
I see. So did you know anyone over there? As in, you were expecting to meet someone over there in Finland to go and lodge with, or did you know anyone at all?
So I knew people before I got there. So before I got there, I was concerned about accommodation, like every normal person should be concerned. Okay. So I was concerned about accommodation, and then I asked questions. So I was asking questions. So apparently, for me, one of the advantages of being a social media person. Okay. So there are times that when people follow me on Instagram, if I have that time, the luxury of time, I check. So there was this day I was checking people that were following me on Instagram, and then I found out one of the persons that followed me lives in Finland.
Okay.
So I had to say, I'd not gone for the visa interview. So I now sent a message to him that, "Oh, hello, I saw you just followed me. I'm planning to come to Finland. I've not gone to my visa, but I've gotten my admission. And then I would just need you to just guide me." And then he gave me his WhatsApp number. We communicated just a few times, and that was it. So later, after I got my resident permit, that's like the visa, I now sent him a message that, "Oh, my visa had been approved, and I will be coming down if he knows anybody that can help me with accommodation." So he introduced a lady to me. Okay. And to the glory of God, it just happened that they are very, very kind people. Okay. They started being very supportive to me even while I was in Nigeria. When I got to the airport in Finland, the husband came to pick me, so I didn't even have to struggle with my load. They took me to where I was supposed to stay. They took me to the store, shop for me. On Sunday, they drove me to church. So they made my landing very beautiful.
Wow.
It was just God, because I prayed about it. Wow. So ever since then when I got to school, I started missing me. But at least for the first time, they were able to make me feel, I didn't have to struggle with, "Oh, you got to the airport, you are dragging your bag, you don't know where to go to, you have to pay for taxi." I didn't have that. So that was just what happened. I just asked someone for help, and then they introduced me to somebody there. And luckily for me, he happened to be a kind, because some people will actually be introduced to some people and they might not be kind. So I was lucky to introduce to a family that are very good.
Wow. That's amazing. You are lucky then. And so how easy or difficult was it for you starting life over there? I know you went there purposely for studying, but how did you get on once you arrived over there?
So for me, I'm a very friendly person.
Okay.
And I naturally like to help people.
Okay.
So there was a WhatsApp group that was created for we that are coming in my department by the school, by my faculty.
Okay.
So they created a WhatsApp and started adding us to the group. Okay. So when we met in the group, because I happened to be one of those that got their visas earlier than others in my class. Okay. So I started rendering help to other people that needed information, about visa, about this, I started, so somehow I had registered my name in their ads. Like, people already knew me in the WhatsApp group even before we met physically.
Okay.
So when we got to class and then people started coming into the country, it was easy to flow with me. So before I knew it, I was able to form a community, even in class, although they're just blacks. So I have 2 of your brothers from Ghana.
Oh, I see.
Very, very kind. Very, very kind guys. Very cool guys. I never believed that Ghanaians can be this free-spirited.
Oh yes, we are very hospitable as well.
Yeah, you guys are. So they are one of my friends in class. So we just formed this family and then we try to figure out things together. So nobody is really lonely like that, know. So when we get information, we share amongst ourselves, we carry ourselves along, and it's really not been tough. It's not been tough. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So that means if you went if you went to Finland, I think in 2023 November, that would be about a little over a year, I guess. A year.
I went 2024.
2024 when? November?
Last month, 2024. No, 2024 August.
Oh, August. So you are not even up to a year yet.
No.
Oh, okay. So you are a freshie.
Yes.
I see. But so how long is your course, your program period?
2 years.
3 years. Wow, that's quite long.
Yeah, actually.
I see. So do you plan to stay there after your program, or you come back to Nigeria?
Well, I might be pursuing a PhD. Okay. So yes,
anything can happen.
Yes, anything can happen. And then I'm this kind of person that even though I have long terms and short term goals, I still believe in taking each day as it comes, because life, things changes. Change is the only thing that is not constant. You understand? So I wouldn't want to start getting worried about, what do I do after 2 years? Do I go here? Do I stay here? I don't want to get worried about it, because there are actually a lot of things to plan even now. I'm still settling, and I don't think that should be my concern at the moment. So when people try to get worried about, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I try to tell them that, why don't you work on having good grades for now? When as time changes, as time goes, your vision becomes clearer. Your goals becomes, clearer. Because of this and this, I think this decision is best for me. You get to know the country more. You tend to know the city more. I've had people that when they got here, they said they wanted to go back because they came in at the peak of winter.
Okay, they couldn't.
And imagine someone coming from a warm region like Africa, coming into snow the very first day. So that person will be taking decision based on their current situation, that I don't think I can stay here, I want to travel. And then when spring comes, when summer comes and there is sun, decision changes again. I'm like, this place is not that bad, it's not that cold anymore. So I don't believe in taking decisions, especially when you are still at the early stage of a particular phase of your life. This is a season, and I just want to soak in the season, enjoy it, and grow with the season. Yeah.
That's true. Do you miss Nigeria already?
I have about 6 Nigerians in my class.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But do you miss Nigeria?
Okay, miss.
Yes.
I think I did during Christmas.
Okay.
Yes. I think that was the only time I actually missed. Not like miss Nigeria. I don't think you can miss Nigeria. It's just to miss your people. It's missing your people.
Your country.
I just miss my people. I miss that family gathering.
Do you hate your country that bad?
No, it's not like bad, but I'm just being factual. You miss, after all, it's the people that makes the country.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't miss the hustle and bustle, the stress. you miss the people that makes it. So I just meet, the gathering. You know how Christmas can actually be in Africa, but here it's just dinner upon dinner upon dinner, family dinner, but not bad, honestly.
Okay. So with your stay so far, what would you say are the differences between staying in Nigeria and then staying in Finland?
That question is very, very strong. You're comparing a developed country with a developing country.
The gap is wide there.
Well, the answer is very obvious.
Okay.
I've been exposed.
Okay.
Yeah, the level of exposure I've gotten is way beyond whatever exposure I think I might have in Nigeria.
Okay. So what are the influences of that exposure, if you have to break it down?
First and foremost, it makes me more qualified to live in a sane environment.
Okay.
Like, it's really so nice to see a country where people follow rules and regulation without being compelled.
Okay.
For example, today I missed my bus because I was looking at my bus right in front of me, but the light has not given me green to cross.
Oh.
And I missed my bus just for me to cross. It doesn't cost anything to just cross. But I just have to, because it's something that I've begun to absorb and learned. It's had an impact on me already.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in Nigeria, I'll be cross. No, I won't care. But here, I've been indoctrinated, or I'm acclimatizing.
That's right.
Into behaving like a sane person. It's not like I was not sane in Nigeria, but you can easily violate rules and regulations. But now it has an impact on me that I'm not seeing it as I'm suffering when I'm doing the right thing.
Okay.
I can easily maintain law and order, follow rules and regulation without anybody putting a gun to my head. Do you understand? It's had an impact on me. I'm beginning to become more refined.
Okay.
Yes, in my approach to things, in the way I live. Yes.
I see. But what do you think is it that makes people obey the rules and regulations over there?
That's a question I might not be able to understand, because one thing that I realize is that people that have gone ahead,
okay,
have a way of influencing generations to come. Now, if you are born in a particular country I don't want to mention, but you know already.
I don't know.
You are born there and you are driving with your father in this car, and your father sees the red light and your father drives off. And that happens over and over and over again. When such child grows up, it tends to also follow suit, right? But in a country like this, where even before, as a child, you see the way things are being done, that is how you are going to begin to grow. That is the kind of culture you are going to imbibe.
Yeah.
So I think this is how they've been able to grow. It's just the same way patterns of violence, of ruggedity, of not following rules, disobedience to rules and regulation, I've been able to follow, with history. In history, that's the same way this positive attitude to the constitution, to the country, also grew over time here. And it's just as easy as that. Those of us that violate rules in our country, because when you get there, you see everybody is crossing. You also follow. When you get here and you are standing and you can see that everybody is standing, nobody will tell you, you will stay, you will wait. So you begin to learn by what others are doing. You can see that this is how they behave here. They behave like normal human beings. Sorry to use that. You also, when I bring children now, And my children also see that everywhere here, this is the way they behave. When it gets to this, let me give you a very practical example.
Yeah.
I really did not know that there is a traffic control for people walking on foot. I did not know.
Oh, we have.
I just realized that when I pardon.
We have that in Ghana, by the way.
Wow, you see, even Ghana. Hey God. So I didn't know, but I realized that whenever I want to cross, I see that people that want to cross with me don't go, and because I didn't want any issue in a new country, I just use my common sense. If people are not going, so let me wait too. So that is how you continue to see. This is how they behave here. This is how they behave here, and then you start behaving the way they behave. And that's how the country became what it is today.
Wow, I see. And so for you, knowing this, if you had to change one thing in Nigeria, what would that be?
The education system. Yes, the education system. I think that's something I would have interest in, that really matters a lot to me. The fact that where I come from, the way we learn, not all of us can say, oh, this is what we learned in school, because the way the curriculum and the methodology is designed in a way that people just want to read to pass and not to know and not to understand. And getting here, you realize that they don't even need to tell you that you are reading to know. The way the curriculum is being structured, the methodology, the curriculum design would help you know what you are studying. You would know. You would know. So if there's anything I want to change about Nigeria, it would just be the educational system. Yeah.
I see. You know what they say about the grass is greener at the other side?
Yeah.
Is it what? Can you confirm whether this is true or not?
To an extent, it is. It is.
So that means that there are more opportunities over there in Finland than you think it is in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
What kind of opportunities, if you were listening?
Okay, for example, the academics is a lot. I've met with people from different nationalities, and that's a big deal for me. People share their opinions, and you are unlike where from Nigeria, that those of us sharing our opinions are from the same states, local governments, having the same shallow knowledge, no exposure. Do you understand?
Yes,
but here, you are in class with people from America, Australia, Europe, Africa, and then you hear people share their experience. You learn things that you've never heard, and it sharpens your mind.
Yeah.
It makes you see from other people's lenses and not just your lens.
Yeah.
You drop that champion mentality because you realize that a lot of people actually know a lot of things, and it's really a big deal for me. Then in that way also opens you up to opportunities. Like, for example, this semester I have a course where we are going to be paired with mentors, and these are not mentors from Lagos. Mentors from Europe. So it's a big deal because that's another exposure. I'm being mentored by somebody who is not from my country, who does not speak my language. It is a big deal because I'm going to be getting things that I have never learned before. I am being lectured by people who I watch on TV, so to say. So it's yes, the opportunities are actually a lot and enormous, For example, I have an EU passport, not EU passport, like I have a resident permit that, can take me to
Other
all
countries.
the European countries. That's about 27 countries.
Yeah.
So you can't compare that to me being in Nigeria with my green passport alone. So yeah, it's really, really a big deal.
Okay. How about work experience? You worked in Nigeria, and I believe you are also working in Finland. What are the differences in terms of work?
So now I have not started working.
Oh, okay.
In Finland, yes.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I find very interesting about Finland, because if you don't work in Nigeria, you definitely would suffer.
Okay.
But here I am, I'm not working, and I pay my rent monthly.
Okay.
Unlike Nigeria, that is even yearly.
You are getting help from elsewhere, I guess, since you are married.
Not really like that, but you are able to get a few jobs here and there, short-term jobs.
Okay.
Yes, not like a permanent job. So you can easily get things to sustain yourself. And aside that, I'm a content creator.
Okay.
I mentor single people. I offer counseling sections.
Okay.
I have 3 published books.
Okay.
So people buy.
Okay.
And I get the conversion rate over here.
Okay.
So I have value to give that helps me to sustain here to an extent and to the glory of God.
Okay.
And aside that, you get a lot of things very free here. I've gotten a lot of free things here in Finland. Okay. A lot. So there's a Facebook page in every city where people give out things. Finnish give out things. They dash out things. Okay. They give you bed. They give you wardrobe for free. Freezer for free.
Really?
Yes. You get a lot of things for free. I can't just keep telling you the things I've gotten for free here. In fact, you get winter jackets, winter clothes. They have a lot of clothes for free in my wardrobe.
Is there a particular place you go and pick those free things, or they'll come to your house? Or
no, when someone makes a post, you say if you're interested or if you're not interested. When you declare that you're interested, they send you their address. You go to their house and you pick it, and that's it.
Wow, that's amazing.
So you get a lot of things even without having a job here. And aside that, food is relatively affordable. Okay. I can say something that's actually cheaper than Nigeria.
Okay.
Like egg. Egg is cheaper than egg in Nigeria.
Okay.
So you can easily sustain, although it depends on city anyways. If you're in the capital, of course, capitals all around the world are
expensive.
Usually having a high cost of living. But I'm also in a major city, but not the capital. Okay. So it's just that way. And and then for church communities, there's some communities that also support. There are NGOs that support.
Okay.
Just a lot of people that would help you to settle well. If you are outgoing, meeting the right people, networking well, you'll be very fine. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. You mentioned job as quite a challenge there. What are some of the other challenges that you've observed so far?
Well, what was the first thing you said?
Job. You mentioned job is quite a challenge so far.
Yes, it is. It is at the moment. In all honesty, and that's why I encourage that if you are coming to Finland, you need to first of all count your costs. Okay. And review your goal. Okay. Do you want to jackpot or you want to study? If the goal is just to jackpot, you might be frustrated. If it's just to jackpot and you don't have money, you might be frustrated. But for someone like me that truly wants to study, yes, you want to travel, you want to leave your country, you want to see the world, you want to see other places. But the major thing is that I wanted to study. So even when job isn't coming, I go to school. I find, because that's my priority here.
That's right.
I find, like today, I really felt very good in class today because my course was beginning to show me that you can become this professional. It was beginning to build me into that future I envisioned for myself. But if my goal was it's money I came to make in this country, whatever they say in class, it won't make sense. Yes. So you need to know, okay, this is the challenge right now. The available jobs, the people that are looking for jobs are more than the available jobs.
Okay.
If you really want to come to study, also prepare that it's not like you're not going to get a job. It might just take a while. You will get a job eventually. Make sure that as you are focusing on your studies and all of that, you have something that you can, fall back on to take care of your bills. You need to be able to be sustained for a long time. But if it is jackpot, just purely jackpot, I have no words for you. I think Finland should not be your destination.
I see. But apart from the job aspect of things, are there other challenges that you've observed?
Absolutely no challenges. Absolutely no. But I think challenges is relative.
Okay.
I've seen people that they said they cry almost every day because they can't cope with this level of sanity. That is very lonely. It's really, really lonely. Because it's just you and you. It's just you and you.
Nobody
but
else.
For someone like me, the only reason why I might find myself in that position of being lonely is not really because I am lonely. It's just as if a matter of the other factors that adds to the loneliness. Like, as early as 3:30, it gets dark.
Oh, okay.
Yes, very, very dark.
Dark.
And
okay.
Yes, because of winter, it gets dark. By 4 p.m., 5 p.m., it's completely like you are in the midnight.
Wow.
So somehow it gets to you. So aside that aside, I don't think there's any reason why you want to be lonely, because you have schoolwork to do. So why are you lonely? You have assignments to do. But for me, I don't think it's a big issue. I don't think it's not a big issue. Aside the job, every other thing is actually very beautiful. The city is beautiful. No direct racism. They said there's racism, but you really would not see any direct to your face. If you meet any Finn and you ask them anything, they would answer you. They are very nice. They are very friendly. The bus system is excellent. The drivers are respectful. Everybody minds their business. Nobody cares about nobody. Everything is very, very good.
Okay. Is the language over there a challenge, or everyone speaks English?
So you barely wouldn't even hear a Finnish speak. First of all, you wouldn't even hear them speak. But I tell you that they value their language a lot.
Okay.
They value it a lot, and they will prefer to speak Finnish more than any other language.
Wow.
However, they speak English.
Okay.
They speak like 90% of Finnish speak English. They all speak English.
Okay.
So if you ask them anything, they will respond to you in English.
Okay. Wow, amazing. It's been a great session with you. I think we've done almost an hour already. Let me check if I have any other questions. We've pretty much covered everything. What I wanted to find out was, you mentioned that you've met different people from different cultures and all that. I believe, and you also admitted that has given you some level of exposure in terms of dealing with diverse people from diverse backgrounds. What would you say this level of exposure has taught you? What lessons have you learned from dealing with maybe someone from a country apart from your home country?
First of all, that's taught me to respect other people's opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I've learned to respect other people's opinion. I've also learned to, just like my course is about inclusion, diversity, equity, equality. Those are the key themes of my course. So it has also helped me to include people. For example, in your class, you tend to meet with those that of the LGBTQ community. You can meet with people from any kind of minority group.
Okay.
And this exposure has actually taught me to be able to include everybody. Today I had someone of the LGBTQ community come to receive lecture in my class.
Okay.
If it were to be Nigeria, as the person stepped in, probably would just bust laugh. People will laugh. Knew they would even take phone and snap.
Oh, okay.
But I find myself even going to introduce myself like, hi, can I meet you? This is what it has taught me. International exposure. It doesn't mean I don't have maybe I might have my own personal bias based on cultural background, but then it has helped me to be able to accept people and to respect people's decision about whatever they want to do with their lives, and also respect them. Yes.
Okay. All right then. As we wrap up, is there any final shout outs to give to any of your people back home, anywhere across the world?
Well, my followers, both my followers on TikTok, especially my followers on Instagram, thank you for the support. Thank you. I love you. And I hope to do so much for you or with you in 2025. Even though right now it's been academics, but as God is going to be helping me, we are going to do so much more. And I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, wish everyone a great 2025. Yeah.
Awesome. So how can people reach you on social media? If someone wants a counseling session, wants to access some of your books to buy and all that, where can they find that?
Okay, I have the same handle across my socials. Instagram O_WHANDEY. I think same thing with TikTok O_WHANDEY. One day.
All right.
Yeah.
It was great having you here one day. And thank you very much
for
having our invitation.